Good morning, good morning, good morning. How art thou? It is Thursday, May 18th, 2023. I just got to say this again for those of you guys that haven't gotten a chance to join us on Tuesday, that we are going into a phase where I will only be doing the lives on Thursday. One, that's to just keep everything whole. I may make them a little bit longer. We're testing out just to see. Some of you guys are just faithful up here, up here all the time. So we're going to just Thursdays. This past Tuesday was the last Tuesday that we'll be doing our lives on Tuesday. But good morning. I'm Jackie Glass, Mama, Navy vet, certified doer, and the laced up legislator for the House of Delegates 89th District. Looking to earn a space in the 93rd District. Here we go. There is a lot. We have a lot going on this week. I actually wanted to take a little bit of time to, again, thank you guys who came out to support Norfolk Can Fly. Amazing event. We've already got it on the schedule for next year, May 18th. Well, look at that. It's today. We got it on the schedule for May 18th next year. So be looking out for that. Coming up here soon, we will have, I'm just making sure I know what's on the calendar. We have a community day that'll be coming up where we'll be giving out all of our commending resolutions. I expect that I will be back in Richmond next month after the primary, because we still have some budget things to do. We left the General Assembly just for situational awareness for you all. We passed what is called a skinny budget. And I think I explained that before, meaning we just did all the things to keep the Commonwealth afloat. But all of that extra stuff, like if we were to put supplement and put money in different places, we didn't do none of that. We just was like, let's just pay the bills, make things right, and then we'll come back and we'll get things right. So I don't know what that's going to look like. That's the rumor mill. I just wanted to put that out there for you guys to know. Then what I've been up to this week? Yes, that's your business. I wish I could just make my calendar available for people just to see what, and I'm pulling it up right now. Good morning, Miss Gray. Good morning, Mr. Jones. Good morning, Shavay. How you doing? Good morning over here. Let me wave. So this week, I want to remind people that there is a lot to be, I think, from us with the relationship between the state and local government, and that there are so many opportunities for you all to get involved that can shift how our local government interacts with the state and how our state interacts with the local government. Please consider boards, commissions, and authorities. Please consider boards, commissions, and authorities, meaning there's civic boards in our city that determine the types that will determine the types of shows that come here. There's an arts commission. There's all these different things. That same thing is true on the local level. You do need the privilege of time, but we need more people like you. We need more certified doers out there just deciding that, because certified doers do, being a part of the process, and that's helpful for me too. So selfishly, I want all kinds of people, because I want all kinds of perspectives as we try to be more inclusive and understanding of how we do business here in the Commonwealth and in the city of Norfolk. All right. I did a civic league this week. As a reminder, if you would like me to come to your civic league, let's say, I say this, you can go to the website and just say, I'm with this civic league, would love to have Delegate Glass show up. We got the time on the calendar, we'll make it. If we can't make it this month, we'll try to make it next month to work with us, right? There are, I had the number for how many civic leagues there are in our district. It's a lot, okay? It's a lot because we are charged with representing 80 to 84,000 people, okay? So there are a lot of places and spaces to be. I won't necessarily be able to, in a year's time frame, because of the way civic leagues fall, I would, it's almost physically impossible for me to maintain a day job, do stuff, and be a mother and all the civic leagues. So looking at civic leagues that maybe want to do joint meetings, I'm here for it. I think it's important. This is rolling into we're fitted as we wrap up the first year, just trying to get a rhythm, and then switching districts, which makes things a lot of bit weird too, trying to figure out that rhythm with how we get engaged with people. Hey, Miss Charlene. Hey, Mr. Little. Good to see you all this morning. So this week, some of the most important things that happened that I was able to do this week, or conversations that we had. We talked with folks in other parts of the state that are doing some gang violence prevention and gun violence prevention, and talked to them about what kinds of monies are they getting, and how their program is working, where it's working in other parts of the state. We also talked about how they can get us connected with some larger programs out there nationally that are actually doing great work in communities to mitigate some of the problems that are coming out of communities. Specifically, I'm very concerned with gang activity right now, right across the Commonwealth and in our city. So we were a little proactive here in trying to build a bridge between the U.S. Attorney's Office and then some other programs. And there's opportunity. And from what I learned, that money is not a barrier here. It's actually something that we don't have to, that we shouldn't see as a barrier to getting some resources and help. It's people. So if you're a person that is willing to, please reach out to our office. Please go to the website and say, hey, I'm interested in being a part of the next steps of the work that we're doing with gang violence and gun violence, and prevention side of things, right? There's a whole justice system side of things that has to be worked out, but we're working on the prevention side. One moment. Okay. This is it, right? All right. So that was a meeting that we had earlier this week. Secondly, when I speak to the littlest citizens, when I talk to our little citizens, what I hear the most is, what's your biggest concern? What's your biggest gripe? And I'm saying the middle school to elementary school crowd. And what I often hear is, delegate class, school lunch sucks. And we have an amazing woman who runs our school lunch program, Miss Lisa Winter, who also just won an award. Trying to find it here. For the she's doing. What I did find out is that she has some barriers, and what we're going to do is we're going to work with get with some of our local school board members and figure out how at the state level we can be helpful with those barriers, understanding that we have a lot of Title I schools, and what does it mean to bridge that gap. I also got an opportunity to talk about resources. We're looking at how do we get people just in time health and wellness resources, but also get them to all that. There's so many different people doing so many different things in the Commonwealth, like being able to provide how that we can bring that hopefully we get a lot of solutions. So that's what I'm doing this week. Those are the high level things. To you all. Now, let's talk a little bit. Let's stick with schools, and do not forget that if you are, let me see what's happening. If you have a community event going on this week or something that you want to share, please go ahead and drop it in the comments. Drop it in the comments, right? So that at 6:55, I'll be able to share whatever it is that you have going on, whatever you're going. Hey, Instagram too. Drop it in the comments if you have a question, or if you have a community event. All right. So this just came out. Now I know we're sticking with schools today. I know I get a lot of comments about um, how our schools are crumbling and the infrastructure and yada yada. Like it's wild, right? A lot of that is wild to think. There's some schools that have been around, haven't really been seriously worked on since the 1970s, and that's disheartening. However, let me say recently, there is a program that's designed to alleviate the financial burden um, on local governments and enable school divisions to meet their facility needs without incurring excessive debt, because it costs a lot the locality efforts to renovate and upgrade new school buildings. Something going on here. Let's see. Oh geez. Okay, give me 1 second. Let's see if I can fix this. Some of you guys in the chat, let me know, if you all in the chat, if you can hear. I'm gonna go here. My apologies. Now let's see if that's better. Hopefully that's better for those of you. Can you all see and hear me? Just making sure we're good. If somebody can give me a thumbs up in the chat, or a yeah, girl. Yes, Delegate. All right. So the focus on this is I'm going to focus on Tidewater and Eastern Shore regions of Virginia that have received a significant portion of these grants. This grant, we see it about $365 million in grants allocated by the state, right? So from the state level for school modernization and repair. It's spotty. Am I good now? Is it better now? I don't know actually what's going on. I feel like maybe, cloudy days. This is how our internet is to treat us. Miss Shar, can you hear and see me now? Am I good? I'm going to keep going. I can see myself. I just don't know how you all are able to see. I just want to be cognizant of that. Be cognizant of that. Make sure we're good. Let's see if I got it. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Okay, it's good. Great. Apologize. Thank you guys. This is technical difficulties. All right. So going back, we've received 365 million in grants. The grants are aimed to really get into that high capital cost. The Virginia Board of Education approved 42 grants, but out of 199, so almost 200 applicants from 63 districts, and we got money. And so it is hard. We have a lot of needs here in the city of Norfolk. So these grants that keep us from having to spend our own monies because of construction challenges, supply chain inflation, it costs more, and are going to provide this much needed assistance to replace outdated school buildings and sort of facilitate timely construction while trying to avoid, and I'm looking this way, I'm going to looking at Instagram, delays and costs. So the funding comes from this newly created school construction fund program. So these are things that the state level do. That's why I need y'all to understand how important it is to be engaged at the state level, to understand how money flows and how missions flow. So the school construction fund was created at the state level, and it was financed by appropriations from the general fund, the state literary fund, and revenues authorized from casino gaming in Virginia. We in the Tidewater Eastern Shore area received the largest portion of the funds total, right, of 92.1 million, followed by the Southwest and other regions getting different amounts, or the total was I'm backtrack. I said the total was 365 million in grants, and we received 92.1. The grants were based on this scoring criteria. So how did they make a determination that we were getting this money? How we make, and I'd like to know, have any of you, if you graduated from a school in Norfolk, what school did you graduate from? And what's the condition of that school right now? If you went to elementary school or middle school in Norfolk, what's the condition? What school first? And then what is the condition of that? Or maybe you got a little citizen that goes to one of our Norfolk public schools and you were in there and you were like, golly, or you volunteered. Tell me a little bit about what you see, the conditions of our schools. Help us really understand why things like this are so important. So the grants were based on a scoring criteria, considering building conditions, the commitment, and the need. Norfolk received the largest grant, just Norview High rebuilt. So Bill's like, I went to Norview High and it has been rebuilt. Yep, Norview is one of our newest high schools, rebuilt. Yep. So I'm waiting for y'all, the rest of y'all, to tell me what your school looked like at this point. So we received the largest amount. We got 30 million for $100 million high school construction project. Like I said, Maury High School just got put on the Virginia Preservation endangered list. So like we got things. So these grants are really crucial. That when our school divisions say they have limited funds, that's what that. Let's make sure I get that. There we go. When they say they have limited funds, that's where the state comes in. That's where it's our opportunity to advocate up for for monies. So 9 in the Commonwealth, and you may be asking, so like, why is it that we can't just, if we want better schools and we want better things, why can't we just increase our taxes and just pay the money and go through the heartbreak of an increased tax? Because I've heard that from people. Why can't the city just do that? Why can't the school board just ask for that? Because our school board does not have taxing authority, which means they have to go to the council and ask for the money. If they had taxing authority, that money would flow directly to the school board, and the school board would be making decisions about what happens based off of what they feel and what they deem is important. Miss Charlene says she taught at 2 schools that were 50 plus years old, one that had 4 electrical outlets. That what? Yes, So you can see why Norfolk had the greatest needs, right? Why we received the largest portion of those funds. So there are only 9 localities in Virginia that are permitted. Hear what I said, that are permitted to impose taxes to fund school capital projects, and efforts to expand the other option. Efforts for anybody else in the Commonwealth to do the same have been thwarted, have been completely unsuccessful. So I'm saying that back to the state level gets to decide what tax or how localities can impose taxes, which is why I need y'all to stay engaged. So what are the next steps, right? I need you to stay engaged. So we don't have that. We're not one of those 9 localities. So we are always looking up for the extra monies, whether it comes from the federal or the state level, to get some of the work that we need to get done, because our council and cannot impose a tax for a capital project. And let me break down capital. When I say capital funds, those are funds to build, essentially funds for construction project, funds to build things. So capital, and then there's operational budget, operational part of the budget, which is the money that keeps our people paid and things going. So we have our capital funds and our general funds. Okay. So the next steps, the remaining 84 million in funding, the program funding, which will be used for there's a second application period later in the year. The additional funding will also rectify any potential errors in the grant, because we're leaving space for errors. So this is a big deal for Norfolk. Granted, when we look at the grand scheme of things, a project that we have is $100 million, and we, out of that $100 million, we got a tiny bit of money to help out, but every dollar helps. every dollar is like crucial and important to our school systems. And that's what I got for you this morning, certified doers, is that there's money coming there's money coming to the school district to help build. Is it going to alleviate all costs? Absolutely not. Is it going to fix all our other problems? Absolutely not. But we are working on our little citizens being able to go into spaces and places that are not falling apart, that have more than 4 electrical outlets. And that's the kind of advocacy that has to be done at the state level. So when you go to the school boards and you're going to the school boards and like money, 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 you got to do that same thing to council. You got to say because council's the one saying, hey, this is how much money you get. But even when you go to council, you got to say, hey, state, hey, can y'all help? And then we just have to be attentive to that, because the money is the mission. The way we spend our money is is based off the things that we value. So when I look at the state budget, when I'm looking at the local budget, when I'm looking at this school system's budget, I'm looking at what they say are important and priorities. And that is something that we all kind of have to do, because if the way that they're spending their money doesn't align with the needs of the community or what you feel, because we all have these different perspectives, right? Then that's when you advocate. What I will also say is that oftentimes we come to this advocacy portion late in the game. Okay. If we have to start paying attention and thinking about the things that we want right now. And the advocacy portion, whether it's for school board or it's for the city council, has to start in the fall. The fall time is when they're asking their department heads, they're asking their folks, hey, start thinking about the budget that you want to have next year. City managers getting all those folks to pull that stuff in. And by the top of the year next year, guess what's happening? They're preparing, they're getting their stuff together. They're preparing, they're already baking in the stuff that they would like to have. And then you don't come in until after all of this has been seen. So you want to get in before this happens. At the state level, right now is the time. So at the state level, right now is the time, especially for the budget that we're still approving. If you have questions, comments, concerns, or there are things you like, look, the state needs to consider funding this, like right now is the time, because we're thinking about to get involved with the budget that we haven't already passed. But what I'm going to start considering by next month is what kinds of bills, what kinds of budget amendments do I want to put in for next General Assembly cycle, right? What are the important things to the community that I need to be advocating for? The year before, I advocated for budget amendment wise, the first year was for witness protection, because we found out we just can't get witnesses to court, and that's directly related to crime. This year, I personally did a budget amendment for the medical examiner's office, because they say no body, no crime, but no medical examiner, no murder charge, right? And so we are in a position where that part of our justice system is hurting significantly. And so I put in a budget amendment for funding for the medical examiner's office because of that reason, working with them. And I'll be thinking about what that looks like next year. Certified summer school. For those of you guys who don't know, summer school for certified doers, we will be putting out those dates. You got to be there. Either you or somebody you know needs to go to summer school. We'll have a virtual option where it'll be four 1-hour classes, and then we'll have a workshop day, which will be a half a day, 4 hours or so, a workshop to knock it out. That's why we need you. Okay, like that's where let's demystify the stuff. Let's just do what we got to do and then go from there. Okay, got it. It is 6:55. And thank you, Michelle Hairston, for being here. I'm going to go ahead and put out, she's got an event. Leslie, she's got an event coming up here. Let's put it up. So Michelle says, Love Norfolk 2023 is going to be happening June 3rd from 11 to 3. So this is something you can already mark your calendars for. Love Norfolk. So it's going to be at the Church Street Shopping Center, where There's going to, that's Save a Lot, the former Save a Lot. Thank you for clarifying that. So it's a resource fair to benefit individuals who are unhoused or at risk for being unhoused. Several community partners, businesses, government agencies, on-site assistance provided to those in attendance. So that is January 23rd. January 23rd, June 3rd, excuse me, June 3rd. Hello, Sahir. So June 3rd, this month, next month from 11 to 3. Michelle, if you're looking, are you looking for more orgs? Are you looking for people to volunteer? Let me know if there's go ahead and drop it in the chat if you're looking for people to do specific things or looking for more partner orgs, because I would certainly be love to connect you some orgs and maybe, whatever that looks like. Miss Stoner, you said does planning start 2 years prior? And I will answer that question, but I think you're asking about planning for the budget. If you can, drop it in the chat. If you're asking, does planning for the budget start 2 years prior? Public input. Travis, I see the link and I know that people will be able to see the link, but I don't know what the link's for. It just says public input. So if you can drop in the chat what that link is for, or what that public. Okay, got it. Thank you, Travis. Okay, so Travis dropped in the chat a link for the State Trails Office is looking for input for anyone wanting better biking, better walking, running facilities. Take the survey, because look, I'm gonna tell you something. Okay. The one good thing I'll say about the community that I grew up in is that I could walk it, I could bike it, I could ride my bike to school without any issues, which I did quite often because didn't have a ride. I could walk. So we have a city. And this is not biased. This is a fact. We have one of the more robust and amazing cities in Hampton Roads. We have a real proper downtown. We have a dope trail. We have urban and suburban living. We have museums. We are just culturally rich. And one way to connect all communities, not just certain communities, to those other opportunities is having good walking, good trail opportunities. Please take the survey. It's in the chat. And that's the truth. That's how I got to the other side of town, was I could actually walk there. I could actually bike there. And Lord knows when I'm driving up Tidewater Drive, some days I'm like, man, what if Tidewater Drive was really accessible for people? What if we had it was really accessible for people to get all the way down to the beach, from the beach to downtown? What if that was a fare through for people? Like, we got to get connected. We have to connect the city if we're going to do better. So like, there are state funds. That's where the state comes in. Sometimes the money, sometimes the way we do business. I need y'all to do that. And I'll do this last thing. So the Trails Office, the Trails Office is new this year, but it's never existed before. So the funding is $89 million in state budget. We need your input. Thanks, Travis, for that. Appreciate that. Miss Yolanda says, okay, yeah. So for the budget, she said, are we planning every 2 years? So let me explain. The state budget is a biannual budget. So we create a budget in even years and we edit that budget in odd years. Or did I do that back? I did that backwards. We edit a budget in odd years. Yes, I was right. We create a budget in even years. We edit a budget in odd years. So yes, there is a biannual cycle of the state budget, right? The state budget. Now, the local budget, that's an annual thing, but I'm going to tell you, baked into that budget are things that are going to happen 5, 10, 15 years from now too. So that makes a difference. I hope I hope that I am able to, that I explained that correctly, that it's every 2 years. But we make amendments or changes. So this year we aren't creating a new budget. We're just making changes to that budget based off monies we may have left over or things that we need to do. Does that make sense? I hope that answers your question. If not, I'm here for you. You know where to find me. I'm trying to make sure I get to other things. Miss Charlene, this is a great way to put things into perspective. You should take the opportunity to get involved because she was at NPS You was there when Norfolk Public Schools presented and adopted the budget the same day. That's true. Like that happened. You just, again, money determines the mission and the values of these entities. So I just need y'all to really know that money determines the mission and the values, okay? And you want to make sure that it is in line with your broader community and what you feel the needs are. But that means that we've got to get connected to our neighbors. So I need you to know your neighbor to your left, to your right, to your front, to your back, diagonal, right? That's a couple, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. That's 6 neighbors. Can you know 6 neighbors where y'all can chop it up, or maybe connect with that civic league of yours, because it helps us do the work up and down, right? So at the state, and I want to advocate at the federal level for things. That's what I'm doing right now on the gang violence front, advocating at the federal level for funding to come down. So thank you, Miss Charlene. Thank you for that. Bill said he rode his bike. You rode his bike to Norview. Folks thought you were crazy, right? Because it was super dangerous. They're like, what are you doing? Riding your bike to school? Are you crazy? Yeah, man. There's some freedom in that. And I don't think folks truly understand the nature of the freedoms that we have to grant our young people in order for them to transition into adulthood properly, right? There has to be this level of planned emancipation, but we have to slowly but surely provide them, what did I say? We have to slowly but surely be able to provide them with these freedoms so that they can grow, so they don't hop out of high school and are like, adult, now let me do all the crazy stuff, right? Let me go drink because that's what adults do. Like, come on, we've got to do it. And part of that freedom for me was being able to walk and bike places, take public transit places. And Miss Stoner, great. She says she was able to attend the Project Inclusion on Tuesday and was very informative. So Tuesday morning live, that's what happens when we put out these events. I'm glad I saw the pictures from it. Miss Karen Bailey with Youth Earn and Learn is a phenomenal woman, a phenomenal program that I can just see growing and growing and growing with her youth ambassadors, giving them opportunities to earn money and learn life skills, learn how to eat right, and provide that to their community. So shout out to Miss Karen Bailey for telling us about that event on Tuesday. And I'm glad that you were able to go, Miss Yolanda. All right, Travis, thanks. Yep, and Bill, that's all. We're just trying to make safe opportunities. Yeah, you know what I mean? Just trying to create safe opportunities for our youngins, all right? Or our young adults and our young people. That's what I got for today. I appreciate you all being here. Just remember, next Tuesday we will not be live. It will be next Thursday. But remember to come with your event that you have going on. If there's anything happening between now and next Thursday, go send it to. Okay, what I didn't do, I didn't put the banner at the bottom. Y'all beat me up. At the banner scrolling across the bottom of the screen, if you have an event between now and next Thursday that you want us to share, please don't hesitate to reach out via email or call the delegate office with a specific request or concern. Go to our website, sign up for our newsletter. Come on. Don't you want to get the latest and greatest? It comes out once a month. I promise you, I don't bug you for too much, but it's there for you. Please consider donating on our website or sending us a check for the work that we do. P.O. Box is rolling across the screen, 99071, Norfolk, Virginia, 23509. Get no money, no mission. We are on a huge mission to do some really amazing things. And fortunately, this is a job where a lot of the funding to do the personal things have to come from the community and businesses and folks like that. So thank you all. Did I lose my comments? There it is. All right. Thank you, guys. Make it a great weekend. See you next Thursday. You're welcome, Mr. Bill, here for it. Be safe. Look at, she said, how was weekend? Take care. Bye.